So in this session we are going to discuss about entropy. See, entropy is majorly a function of quantity of heat which shows the possibility of conversion of heat into work. For example, so let us consider there is a vessel like this over which a lid is placed. So this vessel consists of a gas inside. So let us say these are the gas molecules. So we have given certain amount of heat to this vessel such that these gas molecules will move randomly, and as a result of this random motion these gas molecules will go and push this lid with certain pressure. As a result of that there will be certain displacement of this lid. So this is nothing but certain amount of work production. So entropy is a quantity of heat which shows the possibility of conversion of heat into work. So as you know, in first law of thermodynamics it was said that heat and work are mutually convertible. But here how heat and work are mutually convertible was not explained by the first law of thermodynamics. So entropy is the concept that is behind the conversion of heat into work. Now if this randomness of the molecules is more, then there will be less possibility of conversion of heat into work. Whereas if this randomness of the molecules is lesser, then there will be more possibility for conversion of heat into work. So let us see about those here. Now the increase in entropy is small when heat is added at a higher temperature and is greater when heat addition is made at a lower temperature. And for maximum entropy there is a minimum availability for conversion into work. As I told you, more the randomness, less will be the possibility of conversion into work, and less the randomness there will be maximum availability for conversion into work. So the increase in entropy will be small when heat is added at a higher temperature. This I will explain you shortly how at higher temperature the increase in entropy will be small and it will be greater when heat addition is made at the lower temperature. Now the characteristics of entropy, if we come across, so it increases when heat is supplied irrespective of the fact whether temperature changes or not. It decreases when heat is removed where temperature changes or not, and it remains unchanged in all adiabatic frictionless process. That means reversible adiabatic process or isentropic process if we consider, so that there will be no variation in the entropy. That we will be discussing shortly. And it increases if temperature of heat is lowered without work being done in the throttling process. So all these points I will be explaining shortly with certain examples. Now let us see what is birth of entropy. Now how do we got the formula for entropy? Let us discuss first of all. So when we talk about this birth of entropy, here let us consider there is a reversible engine first of all. So when we go for this reversible engine, here this reversible engine is operating between the temperature limits T1 and T2. The amount of heat supplied to this reversible engine is Q1 and the heat rejected by the engine is Q2 and the work output from the engine is W. Now when we go for a reversible engine, we know that actual efficiency is equal to ideal efficiency, and actual efficiency is 1 minus Q2 by Q1. This is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. So we can write this as Q2 by Q1, which is equal to T2 by T1, or Q1 by T1 is equal to Q2 by T2, and we can write Q1 by T1 plus of minus Q2 by T2 equal to 0. So this can be written as sigma Q by T equal to 0, or when we consider this as a cycle, you can write it as cyclic integral of dou Q by T equal to 0. Now see, when we considered a cycle from the first law of thermodynamics, we have learnt that whenever we come across a cycle, algebraic sum of all the heat transfers will be equal to algebraic sum of all the work done. So that means from the first law of thermodynamics we have learnt that whenever a system or certain things undergoes a cycle, then cyclic integral of any property like the change in internal energy is 0, cyclic integral of change in enthalpy equal to 0. So here when we are talking about a reversible engine or a cyclic engine, here we have got some term like this, the cyclic integral of dou Q by T equal to 0. Now let us name this dou Q by T with some name, and that thing we called it as ds, the change in entropy during the cycle. So ds is equal to dou Q by T when we have considered a reversible engine. So when we have considered a reversible engine, we have got ds is equal to dou Q by T. Now suppose, see, why we have named it as ds is, it's very simple. Whenever a system is undergoing a cycle, then cyclic integral of any property will remain equal to 0. So we have named this cyclic integral of dou Q by T. This dou Q by T is considered as a property, and that property is named as ds here. Now this ds equal to dou Q by T when we have considered a reversible condition, and ds will be greater than dou Q by T when the condition is irreversible, and ds is less than dou Q by T when we take an impossible cycle. So ds will be less than dou Q by T, this will not be possible, and ds will be either greater than equal or equal to dou Q by T. So greater than comes when we considered a irreversible cycle, and equal to comes when we have considered a reversible cycle. So to understand about how ds is greater than dou Q by T, we need to know about Carnot's theorem. So when we talk about this Carnot theorem, so this Carnot theorem states that of all the engines operating between same temperature limits, the reversible engine will have the highest efficiency. So this is what the Carnot theorem says. So Carnot theorem says that of all the engines operating between the same temperature limits, the reversible engine will have the highest efficiency. Now based on this Carnot's theorem, let us go for the Clausius inequality. Now let me consider there is a high temperature source which is at T1, and a lower temperature sink which is at T2. Now a reversible engine is operating between these two temperature limits, and an irreversible engine is operating between these two temperature limits. Now let us say the heat supplied to the reversible engine is Q1R and heat rejected to this reversible engine is Q2R. Now for this irreversible engine, this is Q1 heat supplied, Q2 is the amount of heat rejection. So according to Carnot's theorem, the efficiency of reversible engine must be greater than the efficiency of irreversible engine. Now from this we can write that 1 minus Q2 reversible by Q1 reversible is greater than 1 minus Q2 by Q1. Now from this we can write minus Q2R by Q1R is greater than minus Q2 by Q1, or you can write Q2R by Q1R less than Q2 by Q1. Now when we considered a reversible condition, here we know that Q1 by Q2 is equal to T1 by T2 when we have taken a reversible process. So from this, instead of this Q2R by Q1R, we can write this as T2 by T1 less than Q2 by Q1. Now we can write here Q1 by T1 is less than Q2 by T2, and also we can write Q1 by T1 minus Q2 by T2 is less than 0. Now we can write this as Q1 by T1 plus of minus Q2 by T2 is less than 0. So this is the case of irreversibility. Now instead of this 0, we can write like this: since sigma q by t equal to 0, for a reversible case we can write instead of 0 Q1R by T1 plus of minus Q2R by T2, this is equal to 0. So that means this 0 can be replaced by Q1R by T1 plus of minus Q2R by T2, or so whenever we considered this cyclic integral of dou q by t equal to 0, or this dou q by t, or instead of this 0 we can write it as cyclic integral of dou q by t equal to integral of ds. So from this we can write this as integral dou q by t, or cyclic integral of dou q by t for irreversible condition will be less than ds. So this implies from this ds is greater than dou q by t. So from the first law of thermodynamics applied to a closed system, we have learned that dou q is equal to du plus pdv. So this is the formula that we have learned from the first law of thermodynamics. Now here, if I divide this by t, we are going to get dou q by t is equal to du by t plus pdv by t. Now this dou q by t is nothing but ds. Du by t can be written as mcv dt by t plus p by t, since pv is equal to mrt, p by t is equal to mr by v. So this will be mr dv by v. That is what we are going to get here. Now on integration of this one, we get S2 minus S1 is equal to mCv ln T2 minus ln T1 plus mR ln V2 minus ln V1. Log m minus log n can be written as log m by n. So from this we have got the formula for change in entropy during a process for a closed system like this. So S2 minus S1 is equal to mCv ln T2 by T1 plus mR ln V2 by V1. Now this is the formula for change in entropy when temperatures and volumes are given. Suppose we need to get the same expression in terms of temperatures and pressures. So to get the same expression in terms of temperatures and pressures, we can use this relation P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. Now from this, here we can write V2 by V1 is equal to P1 by P2 into T2 by T1. So let us consider this as the first equation, this one, this as the second. Now substituting 2 in 1, substituting equation 2 in 1, we are going to get S2 minus S1 is equal to mCv ln T2 by T1 plus mR ln V2 by V1 can be written as P1 by P2 into T2 by T1. See, this is in the form of log mn. We can write this as log m plus log n. So mCv ln T2 by T1 plus mR ln P1 by P2 plus mR ln T2 by T1. So as this is in the form of log mn, you can write this as log m plus log n. So this is the reason we have written like this. Now if you observe this expression and this expression, m ln T2 by T1 is common. You can write this as Cv plus R plus mR ln P1 by P2. See, since Cp minus Cv is equal to R, Cp will be equal to R plus Cv. So from this we can write this as mCp ln T2 by T1. I am writing minus here such that I can interchange this as P2 by P1. Now this is the formula for change in entropy. So S2 minus S1 is equal to mCp ln T2 by T1 minus mR ln P2 by P1. So this formula can be used when temperatures and pressures are given in the question. Now let us take this as equation 3. P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 T2. So from this you can write T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 into V2 by V1. Let us take this as 4. Now substitute 4 in 1. Substituting equation 4 in 1, we get the change in entropy S2 minus S1 is equal to mCv ln T2 by T1 is there in the equation. If you observe, mCv ln T2 by T1. So instead of this T2 by T1, we are putting P2 by P1 into V2 by V1 plus mR ln V2 by V1 is there. Now this is in the form of log mn. We can write this as log m plus log n. mCv ln P2 by P1 plus mCv ln V2 by V1 plus mR ln V2 by V1. Now if you observe these two expressions, we can write this as mCv ln P2 by P1 plus m ln V2 by V1 into Cv plus R. So Cv plus R is nothing but Cp. So the change in entropy S2 minus S1 can be written as mCv ln P2 by P1 plus mCp ln V2 by V1. So this is the formula for the change in entropy in terms of pressures and volumes. The change in entropy S2 minus S1 will be equal to mCv ln T2 by T1 plus mR ln V2 by V1. So this is the equation in terms of temperatures and volumes. Then the second equation that we have learnt is S2 minus S1 is equal to mCp ln T2 by T1 minus mR ln P2 by P1. And the third equation is S2 minus S1 is equal to mCv ln P2 by P1 plus mCp ln V2 by V1. So these three equations are to be remembered when no process is given in the question and he has given temperatures and volumes or temperatures and pressures or pressures and volumes. Depending upon that, you need to use these expressions. So if you observe something here, so whenever pressure is there in the equation, you will get Cp, and when temperature is there, you will get R in that equation, and when volumes are there, you will get Cv in the equation. Isochoric process. So isochoric process, if you consider, so in isochoric process volume is constant. So when volume is constant, we know that heat transfer dou Q is equal to the change in internal energy. Now from this we can write this as mCv dt. Now we need to divide this by T. Dividing by temperature, we are going to get dou Q by T is equal to mCv dt by T. On integration, so this dou Q by T is nothing but ds. On integration we get S2 minus S1 is equal to mCv ln T2 by T1. So this is what we have got here. This is the formula for change in entropy when you have considered isochoric process. Now let us see isobaric process. If you take isobaric process, in isobaric process pressure is constant. So when pressure is constant, we have learned that heat transferred is equal to change in enthalpy, which is equal to mCp dt. Now if we divide this by T, we get ds is equal to dou Q by T, which is equal to mCp dt by T. On integration, S2 minus S1 is equal to mCp ln T2 by T1. So this is the formula for the change in entropy in case of isobaric process. Now let us go for the next process, that is isothermal process. The third process is isothermal process. When we have considered isothermal process, we have learnt that heat transferred is equal to work done during isothermal process. Now if we divide this by T, we get ds is equal to dou Q by T, which is equal to dou W by T. On integration, S2 minus S1 will be equal to 1 by T integration of 1 to 2 dou Q. So heat transferred during isothermal process can be written as S2 minus S1 is equal to 1 by T into Mr T1 ln V2 by V1. So as temperature is constant, these two will get cancelled. S2 minus S1 is equal to Mr ln V2 by V1. So this is the formula for change in entropy during isothermal process. Now see here why we have written integral of dou Q by T as Mr T1 ln V2 by V1 is integral 1 to 2 dou Q is nothing but Q1 to 2. So heat transferred is equal to work done during isothermal process. Work done formula is P1 V1 ln V2 by V1, or you can write this as Mr T1 ln V2 by V1. So this is the reason we have substituted the formula here, Mr T1 ln V2 by V1. As temperature is constant, T1 is equal to T2 equal to T. That's the reason I have cancelled this. So this is how you will get in case of isothermal process. Now let us go for the fourth process, which is isentropic process. See, isentropic process, or this is also called a reversible adiabatic process. See, most of the students might have a doubt like this. What is the difference between isentropic process and adiabatic process? So let me explain you what is the difference here. What is isentropic process and what is adiabatic process? See, in both these processes, heat transfer will be 0. Dou Q will be equal to 0 in adiabatic process as well as reversible adiabatic process. But when we consider reversible adiabatic process, ds must be equal to dou Q by T. And here, as adiabatic process is irreversible, ds will be greater than dou Q by T. So if we consider on integration, as heat transferred equal to 0, S2 minus S1 must be equal to 0 and S1 must be equal to S2 here. Now if we draw the TS diagram here, TS diagram in this particular case, if we consider expansion, 1 to 2 will be a vertical line for isentropic process. But here this on integration, S2 minus S1 will be greater than 0. That means S2 will be greater than S1 when we have considered expansion. Now if I draw the TS diagram here, process 1 to 2 should be represented as a curve here because entropy is increasing. I am drawing it by using dotted line. The reason is dotted line indicates irreversible process. So in both the process, even though heat transfer is 0, Because adiabatic process is irreversible, we have considered ds greater than dou q by t, and this is the reason we have got the condition like this. Then now let us go for polytropic process. If you consider polytropic process, PV power n is equal to constant. Now, to derive the expression for polytropic process, let us consider the fundamental equation of change in entropy that we have learnt. S2 minus S1 is equal to mCv ln T2 by T1 plus mR ln V2 by V1. So this is the equation that we have learnt. Now what I am going to do, just try to understand here, dear students. As PV power n equal to constant, the relation between temperature and volume is T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 whole power n minus 1. Now if I want this in terms of V2 by V1, I can write this as T1 by T2 whole to the power 1 by n minus 1. Now if I substitute this in this expression, then mCv ln T2 by T1 plus mR ln T1 by T2 whole to the power 1 by n minus 1. So log x power n will be n log x. So you can write this as mCv ln T2 by T1 plus 1 by n minus 1 into mR ln T1 by T2. Now if I have to write this T1 by T2 as T2 by T1, I need to put a minus sign in the front. So mCv ln T2 by T1 minus 1 by n minus 1 into mR ln T2 by T1. So this is what we are going to get here. Now we know that Cv is equal to R by gamma minus 1. If I substitute that here, S2 minus S1 is equal to, or from this you can write R is equal to Cv into gamma minus 1. If I substitute this here, S2 minus S1 is equal to mCv ln T2 by T1 minus 1 by n minus 1 into mCv into gamma minus 1 ln T2 by T1. Now if I take mCv ln T2 by T1 common in both expressions, you will get 1 minus gamma minus 1 by n minus 1. Now from this, by taking LCM, mCv ln T2 by T1 into n minus 1 minus gamma plus 1 by n minus 1. So minus 1 plus 1 gets cancelled. So finally the formula for change in entropy in a polytropic process can be written as n minus gamma by n minus 1 into mCv ln T2 by T1. So this is the formula for change in entropy in terms of temperatures for a polytropic process. So these are the different formulas for different processes that we have learnt. The change in entropy of a system may be positive or negative or equal to 0. So 0 comes when we have considered isentropic process. Positive signs come when we have taken the change in entropy based on heat addition processes. So positive comes if heat is added. Negative sign comes when heat rejection is taking place, and 0 comes when we have considered the process to be isentropic. So try to remember that the change in entropy of the system may be positive or negative or equal to 0, but the change in entropy of the universe will be greater than or equal to 0. So delta S of universe will be greater than or equal to 0. So this change in entropy of the universe will be equal to 0 when we have taken reversible condition, and change in entropy of the universe will be greater than 0 for irreversible case, and change in entropy of the universe can never be less than 0. This is impossible. The change in entropy of a system is different, universe is different. Okay, now let us see about this universe. Now let me consider there is a system like this. This system has initial entropy of S1. Now outside the temperature, the surroundings are at temperature T0. Now from the surroundings, heat is added to the system such that the system entropy is changing from S1 to S2. Now if we consider this system and surroundings together as the universe, then we are going to get here the change in entropy of the universe, delta S of universe, equal to the change in entropy of the system plus change in entropy of the surroundings. Change in entropy of the system is S2 minus S1. This is the change in entropy of the system. Now change in entropy of the surroundings, here you need to consider as minus dou Q by T0. The reason is, here the surroundings, if we consider this as a part, surroundings are losing heat to the system, so we need to take minus dou Q by T0. So this is what we have got. This change in entropy of the universe will be equal to 0 if change in entropy of the system is minus of change in entropy of the surroundings, if both the magnitudes are equal. It will be greater than 0 when we consider irreversible condition. That means whenever a system and surroundings together, if you consider as universe, there will be definitely some irreversibilities. So if there are no irreversibilities, then the change in entropy of the universe will be 0. If there are irreversibilities, external or internal, then the change in entropy of the universe will be greater than 0. So this is what we get here. Now let us consider there is a system like this whose initial entropy is S1. Now system is losing heat to the surroundings, which are at temperature T0, such that system entropy is changing from S1 to S2. If you consider this system and surroundings together as universe, then change in entropy of the universe will be delta S of system plus delta S of surroundings. Now change in entropy of the system is S2 minus S1. As surroundings are gaining heat, we can take this as dou Q by T naught. This also will be greater than or equal to 0. Equality comes when the process is reversible. Inequality comes when the process happening is irreversible. Now try to remember that the change in entropy of the universe always increases, and this is called the principle of increase of entropy. Because all the processes that are occurring in the nature are irreversible, that is the reason the entropy of the universe always increases. So this principle we call it as principle of increase of entropy.